Speaking of sickening, let's talk about Ben Simmons.
I was going to say, that if that's not a segue, I don't know what is. So
the never-ending, I can't stop talking about Ben Simmons.
Let's start with the one-liner. So 4 years in, drafted obviously very highly, right to Philadelphia.
Right.
Is he part of the process, or is that a Joel Embiid thing only?
He's part of the process. He takes the first year off because of an injury. So really, he's only had 3 years.
So he saved himself a couple miles on the engine.
Right. The problem is, what everyone's been saying is, look, very athletic, hasn't improved in 4 years.
No growth.
No growth. There's been like rumor stories, doesn't work hard or something. He's out of Philly. He's done. Philly's done. So they got to figure out a way to salvage something for him. So we might as well break down some trades.
But Philly's not committed to this. So they say. Philly has not said.
Philly, okay, dude, come on. You're in business school. Come on. They put that out there.
I think it's fake.
So that other teams will be like, oh, we got to offer him something. They believe they can still work it out.
If it's not for sale, it's suddenly more valuable.
Interior wise, they're probably like, we got to get rid of this guy.
We got to purge this.
Yeah.
And you got to think from a player's perspective too. I mean, even that moment where he had like a wide open, not a wide open, but like a fairly uncontested dunk there, and was it game 6 or 7?
No, that was game 7. Yeah.
And he just like dished it off. You're like, dude, if you're looking for a moment to say, like, I belong here, right. So, locker room, on the books, managerially, he's toast.
He's got mental problems. He's toast. Look, he's gone. So, we might as well talk about a few places that he can go.
I'm down for that.
Okay. Number one for me, you just react. Number one for me is the Portland Trailblazers.
This is a trade?
Damian Lillard, yeah. Damian Lillard for Ben Simmons. Maybe you throw in, if you're the Sixers, some sort of pick too. Look.
My reaction.
Well, let me give you another little bit of preface, because if you're Portland and Damian Lillard wants to go, then that's it. Once they want to go, it's done. So you might as well get something for him. Ben Simmons is still young. In your mind, if you're Portland, you're like, all right, we're rebuilding, but not too bad, because we get a very quote-unquote valuable piece here in Ben Simmons. And it gives Ben Simmons the chance to completely own his own team, which he's never had in Philly.
Exactly. That'll be very good for me. I think what we'll learn a lot from that is who is Damian Lillard. I feel like if he's someone who has been like, I'm Portland all the way, like start career, die career, like that is so valuable to me. I mean, maybe he's not given a choice because he's traded and that's that, right? But I think that we learn a lot about Damian Lillard too, and going somewhere else where he can be the man. And I think in his eyes, I mean, he's got to look at that situation thinking, man, it'd be great to be with Joel Embiid. I mean, he's playing really well, really strong. I mean, he gets a huge piece with him. Mm-hmm. He can go there, do his thing, and not have to worry about A, rebuilding, as you said, and B, he doesn't worry about like carrying the full yoke of that team.
Plus, if you're the Portland Trailblazers, you kind of can save face, because you could go to Damian and be like, look, we know, we love you, we paid you, we want you here,
$30 million a year,
but we also we like you so much that we want to give you a chance to go and win.
It's not working out here.
Right.
Why would you want to stay here?
We get something, and we get to give you a chance for a championship.
That's their pitch. I agree. You made an interesting...
I mean, I feel like this should happen. I mean, well, I don't understand why this hasn't maybe it can't happen.
Well, he's not for sale.
Maybe it can't happen right now, but whenever it is available, that I feel like that makes a lot of sense to me.
You did make an interesting point there, which is he gets to have his own team.
Yeah.
Do you think he's a leader?
I think he needs to go through, even if they're going to suck, right? He needs to go have his own team so that he has to take the shots. And it's just like 2 practice years for him.
Kind of like exposure therapy. Like there's
no
one else.
Really cares because you're in Portland, right? So you can like shoot without like feeling the pressure of everyone watching.
We just lost all Portland fans. No one cares because your city is not going to make an impact.
But, he gets to then be like, all right, I can work on my game here and not worry about all the repercussions of anything else.
For a guy who shrinks in the playoffs, I think that's actually a much better environment for him.
And then he can go somewhere else.
That's a much better environment for him.
Or he can stay there and they can work around him. He's still young enough.
What do you think he needs? Well, let's throw a few more teams out there, and then I'm going to ask you, what do you think he needs psychologically?
Okay. All right. Next team I got is the San Antonio Spurs.
This one I like for a lot of reasons. I think that coaching and culture here is so strong that I think he just has tremendous opportunity to develop psychologically, and within a system where team and team ball is just so heavily prioritized over the 1 or 2 stars.
And you'd get rid of DeMar DeRozan in that one. He's 31, still has a lot left in the tank. I mean, he's the same age as Damian Lillard, so there you go. And it gives him someone that can shoot to pair with Joel Embiid.
The argument that San Antonio will have to make in that one is, I think DeMar's plus minus tends to shrink in the playoffs.
Yeah, he's not a big playoff guy, but if you're Philly and you can't get Lillard, it's I feel like Ben Simmons' stock has dropped so low that it's you got to accept lower guys, DeMar DeRozan style guys.
You'll at least get free throws out of DeRozan.
Exactly. And he can play in the fourth quarter. Moving on. Wizards, dude. Wizards.
I don't like this because I really want to see Bradley Beal come to Chicago. And
that could still happen.
I worry that he would be on the trading block. And I don't know that Russell Wilson.
Westbrook.
I'm sorry, sir.
Thank you. I do it all the time.
Russell Westbrook is ready to move just yet. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, for Westbrook, the Sixers need to throw in Seth Curry.
There has to be an extra piece for him.
Yeah, or a handful of bench guys to get the money to work. Right. Bradley Beal would be straight up, but they're not going to do that.
Is Bradley 32?
No, Bradley I think is.
I'll grab
maybe I think he's 31 too.
Is he really?
Yeah, because we're kind of around the same age. He might be a year younger. Is he 30?
He's 28.
Really? Jesus Christ! Never mind.
We're so old.
but you could do a straight up Bradley Beal, Ben Simmons. Bradley wants to leave, right? You could get Ben Simmons. It's not terrible.
It's not terrible.
Thought. And you could still then get rid of Russell Westbrook somehow.
I think that that's a 2-piece move, to your point.
Then you could trade Russell Westbrook probably to the Bulls or something.
I think it depends if the Wizards feel like they are going to. It depends how far back the Wizards want to run their clock. If they want to say, look, we really got to kind of clean some stuff up here, and we need to get rid of 2, and we'll take on Ben Simmons if he's going to be kind of a role player for a little bit. Or he could run the show if he's going to be with. You got to think at that point they would try and get rid of Russell Westbrook's contract. Exactly.
So then it would be the same scenario where it's Ben Simmons' team and he's on the Wizards,
which might work well for him.
Yeah.
Which might work well for him. I agree with that. And I think that the Wizards could benefit from a little more defense, which I do think that Ben Simmons has done pretty well. Yeah,
he's a great defensive player. Next one, Thunder. Thunder just traded for Kemba Walker, salary pretty close to Simmons. So the old send Walker to different places because that guy doesn't have a life.
Just keep moving him through cities.
But that could work straight up, those contracts. So, if they think Walker's scoring could put him in, over the top and help solidify this position.
I think that Philly is going to have to make a decision about if they are going to push hard in the next 1 to 2 years for something, or if they're going to think about a 5 or 6 year play, because that starts bringing into the conversation draft picks and other options.
Yeah,
and I think that for the Thunder, who are
addicted to draft picks
and probably looking at how do we just kind of get some very early on players and develop a team. I think they want to get back to developing people within for a long time.
Yeah.
So I think they're going to want draft picks. And
they love draft picks.
Right. They love draft picks. And so I think if Philly's willing to give some of those away, and which is based on their timetable, then I think the Thunder actually make a lot of sense. But I don't know the calculus from Philly on that angle. So my reaction there is I actually kind of like it for Kemba.
Yeah.
Because it gives him a chance to get over with Embiid, and I kind of like that pairing.
Right.
But I think it's going to depend on what Philly's willing to give from a draft picks angle, because I think that's what OKC is going to look for.
Sure. Well, I think all of those are good options. I think Ben Simmons, get over it. He's gone. Okay, he's not going to be in Philly. So
no, he's got to leave.
I'd love to see the Portland thing. I'd love to see Damian go to Philly. I think they immediately become co-favorites with the Nets to win next year.
That'd be really fun to watch.
That'd be a fun.
That'd be really
that'd be
fun
a great
to watch.
series to
I would
watch.
love that.
Joel versus the Nets, dude.
I would love that.
Anyway, speaking of the Eastern Conference,
Get the poison out.
let's do.
Jazz age living, old fashioned sipping, pizzazz ain't missing, got the fat cats kissing. Let's bring the old age back. Awake, grandpa from his nap, we bringing